Bro, could have given a warning.
We're gonna say the N word before going live. I'm playing.
Yeah.
I mean, is Alex, aren't you black?
Okay, who should go first on their highs and lows? Click to spin. Okay.
Up to him, not to the spinner.
Oh, it's So's turn again.
Oh, damn. Alright, spinner. Just in general, this week's been pretty good. I guess for I guess my highs would just be the fact that like I was just being kind of more on a grind for like just trying to practice more of like art and animation, just having and just overall feeling like pretty productive with my time for this week. And then my lows would just be I use exams and just worrying about my grades and whatnot and just how things will go from there. But besides that, just in general, this week has been like pretty solid, so nothing too bad.
Ah, okay. Nice. Alright, who is next?
Highs and lows for the week. Where should I start? Okay, so I'd say my highs for the week are I've been practicing art a lot this week. And let me see here. I got a VTuber model. I thought that'd be fun. Just to,
Oh shit, that's nice.
just to see it. Yeah. Let me show you. I drew a design for it. It's kind of
Join the
different from
VTuber
my
gang.
outfit. Yeah, I don't.
Join the VTuber gang.
I see.
VTuber. Yeah, like look at that.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been practicing my art. Yeah, and my
Alright.
lows for the week.
Hello?
Sorry, what was that, Alex?
I think he done moved.
Oh no, I'm not lying. Please don't tell me I'm lying.
No. So was that you, Jamek?
Oh yeah, sorry.
We sort of just started speaking out of line, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So where was I? Yeah, my lows for the week. I'd say work. Work's just been killing me this week.
As it
Like,
always does.
Nothing specific really happened, but I was just like really exhausted. And one night I decided to play Minecraft with the boys. So that's kind of on me, but yeah, still.
Okay. Minecraft with the boys.
Minecraft's good though. Like the recent 1.8 update, it's not
really
too.
fun.
I love how it's still alive though.
It's been alive for all these years. I mean, it's a best-selling game right now. It beat Tetris.
Good. I mean, I'm just kidding.
Good.
See, just like you can't kill Miley Cyrus.
What?
What?
Just can't
Wait,
kill
what?
my-
A few moments later.
Okay, it's AK.
Alright, so I'd say for my highs for the week. Give me like 2 minutes just to think about it, because there's a lot to went through now.
Yeah. So do you want to
Yeah,
go
no
first?
pressure.
I'm trying to think. I had a 1 week Easter break from college, so I spent that time grinding my ass in No Man's Sky because there was a recent expedition. I want to get that out of the way.
Oh, nice.
Well, technically, I had 2 weeks because last week's was it last week? No, it was this week's Monday. I had a day off because it was Anzac Day, our version of Veterans Day. So I basically had 2 weeks of 4 days to myself. But with that said, yeah, I'm back to a whole ass load of classwork. I have to do like 4 pages of drawings for next week. I'm just gonna be busy. Yeah.
4 pages of drawings.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've done total maybe like 100 pages of drawings for all my classes this semester. Not done yet too. So.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
The fact I'm still alive and not burning to a crisp surprises me, honestly.
Right, you don't ever want to go through a burnout. That sucks. Really
Yep.
sucks.
No.
Yep. My load was that I had like 4 pages of drawings I have to do for next week. So
does it have to be like all colored and everything?
oh no, it's just sketches, thankfully. But it's still drawing. It still takes me a couple hours to do. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Shucks. Yeah, that's gotta be a lot.
What do they have you? What do they have you draw? Is it like concept art or something?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I said, what are they having you draw? Is it like concept?
Okay,
art or...
so 2 of my classes are specifically for life drawing and for character design. So the life drawing class, I have to take photos and draw like life models and that stuff. That's the easier of the 2 classes. The harder one is the character design class. I thought designing a mech would be a great way to challenge myself.
No.
Yeah.
The what?
A mech.
What is that?
I designed a mech for that class.
Like
you know what mechs are, right? Mechas? Gundam?
Oh, those?
Yeah, now imagine drawing them 5 times over each week for this class. Yeah, best decision I've ever made. / sarcasm.
Golly.
Was it at least fun to do?
Oh, it's fun. It's just mechs.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, at least it's fun for you. That's what matters.
Yep.
Yeah, suffering.
And then your highs and lows then, Jamix?
Let's see. My highs is that I completed that Jamek drawn animation in the chat.
Yeah.
I didn't really. I started it actually like last year. I did like a little stick figure drawing, and then I did the outline and the coloring later on. Yesterday. Let's see my lows. My lows is that I've been kind of slacking on my my animation that you guys see on my stream, Gray and Sub-Zero.
Right.
I have about like 9 commissions that I want to finish for, so I'm trying to get that done.
You could probably get them done, just saying.
Wait, how many commissions?
9.
You said 9.
9.
9?
That's a lot. That's a
Yeah,
lot though, yeah.
And
How many seconds do you have to make for each of them? Or what's the average, usually?
A few minutes later.
9 of them?
Yep.
Oh my god.
What's up?
I mean,
Al?
hey, if it's ranking you in good cash, then do it. Yeah.
I
Get them done in a timely manner too, Don't want to
I
procrastinate
mean,
all
that's
that.
just a lot. Wow.
It's a lot. It's a lot, yeah.
That's a whole season. Now I'm playing.
Yeah.
Hey, money. You
That's a
gotta
whole
pay the bills,
mini-series.
Right, exactly. I do it for the stream.
Actually, it just reminds me of another question I just wanted to ask. Like,
Let's see.
I was gonna ask Jamek too, but I think I guess just general can ask you guys. But let's say like theoretically, if you guys were to be given like a 30-second sprite animation commission, how long do you think it would take you to finish it?
30
If it's like 30 seconds, I'd say like 3 to 4 weeks. Depends on how fast I work, and depends on the fight itself. If I know the characters more, then obviously I'll finish it faster. Yeah.
If it's straight up 30 seconds, like it has to be 30 seconds, just the video itself, it'll be like 1 day.
1 day? Hold on, what's
1 day?
so-
Are you dead ass?
Yeah, Jamek's fast.
Yeah, I don't have school.
I'd say it takes
Okay, that makes sense, but 1 day, really?
Wait, like, okay, wait, hold on.
Just a
Wait, I think we
fight,
need to get some perspective. So, okay, AK, if you say 3 to 4 weeks, how many hours do you think you will work each day?
Like 5 to 6, maybe less if I have classwork that day. Yeah.
And then Alex, how about you?
It takes me like, I'd say a week. Oh, just working like 4 hours a day, maybe. Just take a week.
And all right, then what's your pace, Jamek?
18 hours maybe.
Crazy.
What the
man.
You
Do you just admit eating entirely just to get the stuff done?
You.
That's not a good. That's not a good healthy habit. Well, if that was the case, Death Battle wouldn't exist, and I wouldn't have our job. So,
True, Jonathan versus Tanjiro would have never existed.
Yep.
I guess that's true. But let me see here. Is it really? And well, yeah, it's animation. Like by every sense of like the definition, I'd say it's animation.
I think the first thing to discuss first before we consider whether sprite animation is what is animation to begin with, and I think there are two ways to define it. So you can either use the dictionary or so I'll just read it out, what just Google Dictionary says. The technique of photographing successive drawings or positions of puppets or models to create an illusion of movement when the movie is shown as a sequence. So I think within that definition alone, sprite animation would fall under it, because it doesn't really specify like whether we have to create set drawings or the positions of the puppets. It's all about just photographing the
I think the key point is the illusion of movement. If you're trying to use something that wouldn't be traditionally animation to create the illusion of movement, then yes, it's animation.
So I think that's like the one definition, which I think can be pretty
it's pretty broad. Yeah,
it's pretty broad and pretty undebatable. But I think the other definition we can consider is looking through the 12 principles of animation and perhaps consider how much of them apply to sprite animation. Because I guess like another question that can branch off of it is sprite animation legitimate animation, or is it far less legitimate and whatnot? So I guess maybe one of you two can, or one of you guys can maybe like just give a quick rundown of like what are the 12 principles of animation, and then maybe from there we can like discuss from there.
So from the top of my head, there's staging, which is the composition of the animation itself. There's solid drawings, which technically wouldn't count here in sprite animations unless you're drawing something very nice. That's just your understanding of form and 3D space. There's arcs, which is the curvature and natural movement of objects in relation to how they move according to gravity. There's anticipation, which is like the build up before a series of movements and stuff like that. There's follow through and overlap, which is where like say a certain motion has a lot of like a bit of overshoot to it to give it a bit of like cartoony feel to it, unlike realism where there isn't too much of that. A couple more I'm trying to think. Exaggeration. So that's just making things more extreme than they actually are.
There's also squash and stretch.
Squash and stretch, yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
I had a page bookmarked here. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. There's no way I'm gonna remember all this.
I've never heard of that one, Alex. That's funny though. Are you making that
slow in, slow out? Yeah. Yes. So slow in, slow out is like how things naturally come to a stop or slowly speed up, like how it would work with physics and all of that. Secondary action. So some objects have a secondary movement to them, say the sword of a character that's swinging it. Your arms, if you're moving the body, that's also secondary action. Appeal. So that's like making something that, giving something life and giving something that's sort of eye-catching. Well, that's what the word is, appeal. So they're not something that you would normally perceive as like what they are. There's also timing. So that would technically fall under slow and slow out, but timing is more just like the pace of certain actions. So if you give something a longer sense of timing, that would just make that action longer, for example. Yeah. I think that's it. Straight ahead and pose to pose. So straight ahead would just be animating one keyframe after the other. Pose to pose means you create keys and then you animate the in-betweens. I think that's it. Yeah.
I think my thought process right now. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just.
That's all. That's the top principles here.
I guess like my thought process right now is when I'm just thinking about the 12 principles, like I think most likely the only ones that I feel like majority of these sprite animation, like no question, falls under or at the like obviously falls under. I think it's more of like the other aspects where I think the three ones that people might contest on are actually wait, can you sorry, can you just roll back, can you just quickly explain staging one more time? Is it just purely just background work or is it also like positioning?
Staging is the overall composition of a particular animation. So it's the way you set up the characters, it's the way you set up the camera, it's the way you set up the background. So it's just a combination of the entire animation to create a certain effect. Yeah.
Right. So I think staging will probably still definitely fall under animation, since a lot of people like
well, it's a principle. So principles are not supposed to be like hardwired biblical rules that you're meant to follow, like mathematical equations. They're more as guides than anything else. Yeah.
Well, it's just that the main reason why I'm just trying to bring it up because like this is probably like the most like commonly referenced like commonly referenced for most animators, and maybe like this can also be like a good framework to start off to see whether sprite animation would fall under animation.
Yeah. And in my opinion, by textbook definitions, yes. Yeah.
So things like I think the only other ones that people might contest on would be follow through and overlapping action and solid drawing. So if you don't mind, I guess I'll just like give it my personal opinion. So follow through and overlapping action to me, the interesting part is I think this actually has become more and more true, mainly due to the rise of some newer animation techniques that I think is mainly popularized by Song God or Summit NB2, where what he would do is he would like I know he's quite popular with like distorting the characters and rotating them, but what he would also do is he would like also grab like for example like certain quills of like shadow and whatnot and move them separately as well. So it should, I think, and I think like I've seen like other animators pick up on that. So I think like number 5 have like the follow through and overlapping action principle has been being more and more incorporated over time, which has been quite interesting to see. And I guess the last contested one could potentially be solid drawing, because some people can be like, well, why solid drawing when you're not even creating the sprites yourself? So my counter argument to that is that I think it also undermines an aspect of sprite animation, where sprite animation inherently is also a very community-based art medium, because there's a lot of people creating custom sprites for characters, and by that then people have more options to explore like animating more things with, like for example like maybe having more Kirby customs, having more Sonic customs, and that alone sort of just like expands the sprite animator's toolkit.
Right.
So I guess like on its own potentially not. Animators rigging as well to sort of circumvent that, but in the overall big picture, I think by trying to use solid drawing against sprite animations, overlooking the community aspect for sprite animation.
I think that's only more of a case if you actually start treating the principles as like hardwired mathematical rules, in which case, yeah, I do have a problem with that. Because there was an animator I used to follow back on Twitter, it was a couple weeks ago, and he was calling other animators fake because they weren't using 2 very specific books that were like a guide to animation. I was reading through the whole tweet. I was like, bruh. Yeah.
Wow.
In other contexts, like maths, for example, yeah, you gotta use them because they're what help you solve an equation. But in animation, it makes kind of less sense because it's such a subjective medium. Yeah.
Wow.
If I can find the tweet, actually, yeah, the whole thing was just like, what? Why are you treating these 2 books like the fucking Bible?
Right, good one.
I mean, just in general, I feel like even for like most like newbie or like just Joe Schmoes, there's like some Joe Schmoes who pretend like they're like experts in animation when it's just kind of like, we'll do it first, lol.
Well, apparently this guy's been in the industry for like eons, but
Well, I
then
know-
comes out with this tweet and just like loses like a whole bunch of followers because of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
I mean like for that
hilarious.
guy, like obviously he's legitimate, but but obviously that doesn't mean his opinion is correct. But I feel like there's also a lot of people who are just like Joe Schmoes who would also like kind of state their opinion about animation tree like they're all correct when they haven't like delved in the medium that much.
So like people who aren't in the who look like down on.
Found the tweet. Yeah, it's here. I'm surprised the guy didn't delete it.
Well, he was honest about it. This man, Alex, bro.
This man, yeah.
So anyway, back to what I was saying earlier. So why do you think people look down on Sprite animation? Is it because we aren't making the pixel art, or like,
I think part of it has to be that we don't outsource our own assets. Because most of the assets we use are already provided to us through sites like Sprite Resource, our friends, and stuff like that. So I guess 50% of the legwork is already done by us.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. When you're working for a studio, you're not given the assets either, because they're already made for you. And your job, specifically if you work for like larger studios, is to just animate those assets. So in that sense, it kind of just doesn't make sense. Because like, if you're doing like an indie production, and the only people on your team are like 2 or 3 other people, then yeah, in that sense, it makes a bit more sense for you to be able to make those assets yourself. But when you're in a larger studio setting, you're not going to be tasked to also create the assets you're given. Hell, I know one person whose sole job is to put assets together in a Flash file. That's it.
wow.
Wow.
Right, that's actually something I never
Yeah, they're called scene assemblers. So yeah, you're part of the job. I do a death battle where you just put together assets in their Flash files for others to use. Yeah, that's their sole job in the animation studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're basically putting together assets in a Flash file for others to use. Include stuff like sound, backgrounds, characters, stuff like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
I wish that was my job though. I wish that was my job.
I don't know. That sounds kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be
Shots
honest.
fired.
Did you say like you like in organizing a lot, or maybe I'm mistaken?
I'm definitely a pretty organized person. Yeah, I like organizing things, and it gives me catharsis.
I'm unorganized, so I guess that makes sense.
I'm the same person to put things on like a shelf 50 times over 4 hours on end. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just a special case.
Oh, I'm the complete opposite. I like leave something on the table, then forget where I put it.
You know, me? I feel that.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
Some part of me feels like it's solely
So,
just.
okay, yeah. So I do have another question. Oh, sorry, Jim.
Oh no! Sorry, I was just saying like, I feel like on other people's no, I feel like on other people's perspective. Am I lagging? Oh my god!
You're right.
Is he cutting out for anyone else?
I thought it was.
He
Yeah.
was going a little robotic.
Robot mode. Oh no.
Well, no.
Now you're fine. Now you're fine.
Okay.
Or at least now you're fine so far. Let's see what happens later down the road.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, some part of me feels like people are just saying that, like, oh, it doesn't count because we're not doing it. Because what we see in the background is like, oh, people are like legit just like, doing frame by frame and designing. Like, okay, we see the reference sheets, and now all we just gotta do is just animate them with the with our drawing tablets and all. But for us, it's like it's already been prepared, but still yet it's already done, and we're still doing it anyway regardless. Like, so I personally think it's like, yeah, you know, I'd still consider it animation.
Yeah.
Like I think another thing to keep in mind is like sprite animation still does requires a lot of skill. And
It does.
It does.
That's true.
Okay, I will be the first to admit it. I actually low-key sprite animation is not that hard. But I think it doesn't mean it's effortless per se.
Yeah.
You definitely have to put in effort to like understand and
Like
just kinda
literally
get
any
ways.
other craft. Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely requires like a lot of practice, and in general, like you do have to understand like like some principles or just employing the principles of animation to give yourself like to make your animation like more appealing.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I didn't even think
In all
about
fairness,
that.
there's a lot that goes into animation itself. Like, animating is just one aspect of it. You want to be able to write good, you want to be able to sound design good, you want to be able to direct good. Directing is also a skill, if you're going to be working in a team, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess like those are just like, yeah, that's just like personally like just what I have like so far in mind. Are there like any other things you guys have in mind?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like I agree with Soul. Because honestly, like, let's say someone was like doing 2D animation, they definitely like wouldn't be able to like jump into sprite animation and be really good at it. Honestly, so it does like take skills to make like sprite fights or like anything really. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I say the one exception is like stick. If you're like jumping from a stick animation to a sprite animation, it is kind of similar. So.
It's just the only difference is that you're drawing your assets. With stick animations, you have to draw your characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
okay, I will say that I feel like I actually have to slightly disagree where like, okay, maybe it still takes time to get used to, but like in regards to, because I remember there was this one Kirby animator or someone in the Kirby animation community who was like a professional animator, I think like 3D animator or something, but then I remember like they did like some pixel art or sorry sprite animations for like a little bit, and they were like they pumped something up really amazing. And I
The
don't know
only
if,
person that came to mind is the Eternal Flare, who's one of my.
yeah.
Was
I believe
talking about
that's,
her?
yes.
No, she still started out with sprite animation specifically. She told me that there's still a lot in that specific niche of field of animation that she wants to learn, but she does know the core fundamentals, like the 12 principles, for example. I did actually teach her how to get into sprite animations. I just taught her like the basic UI tools and all that stuff with Flash, and she basically got the hang of it pretty quickly. Yeah.
So does it seem like she? Because I remember one thing I saw from her was the Soundline challenge. Do you know if like was that her first animation or no?
I don't think so. I haven't seen all the content, but like the ones that stand out to me the most have been that one animation she made of Violet getting beat her ass beaten up by Grey Wind in a Solar collab that we did a while ago.
Right. So I guess like that's
Yeah.
okay. That's kind of interesting then. Okay.
Actually, that begs the question: do you think like just knowing the principles of animation will like?
That's where I'm a hypocrite, actually, because when I started out with animation, I didn't know what the principles were. It took me 4 years to find out what they actually were. I think that's just the downside to self-teaching in general, because when you're being formally taught, like at a university or something, there's a guideline to how that's done. Even though it's not strict, because a pipeline can be deformed to however you want to for your own process to work and stuff like that. But I think it's just like again, like I said, with the principles not being like biblical rules, mathematical formulas you have to follow. So in that sense, it's okay to not know about them until eons later. So,
Okay.
But with that said, I do wish I learned about it earlier though, because it's helpful in at least understanding the concepts a little faster, you know. So you don't, spend 4 years trying to figure out what the fuck they are. Yeah.
It's like one thing I want to ask really quickly is like how much have you guys like dabbled in? Because I guess like some people question like the main reason why people bring this discussion up is because we don't create our own sprites. We're kind of using our own assets. Have you guys ever experimented with like making animation with like using your own like spriting and then animating or?
Yes, I've done that a couple of times actually. So actually I'm doing that in class right now. So a little task that I was asked to do for this week is to stylize our designed character. In the case I talked about earlier, it's a mecha designed in any sort of style that you want to mimic. So I decided, hey, maybe I should do Starbound. So I ended up creating a fully custom sprite in the style of Starbound. Then I have to puppet rig later in the upcoming weeks to create like a little short walking loop, firing loop, just little special effects and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This is funny though, because like I would love to mod this character into Starbound, but I have zero programming knowledge. So.
How about the rest of you guys?
Let me see. I have to say no. Just like making. I don't know. I just making my own sprites and like animating them. Besides like Sonic, I technically didn't make it. I just got those commissions. So no.
Yeah, same. If anything, it's Jamek and that's it.
Yeah. And
On my case, like I have my own characters too, like Violet and stuff like that. I have a couple of like Starbound characters I also rigged too, but like nobody's seen them because I haven't posted any videos of them anyway.
Yeah, and I'd also say that's kind of the reason like people get into Sprite animation, just to learn like the fundamentals of animation.
I do think it's a great springboard to get yourself into other fields. Yeah, I've talked about this in a couple of the other podcasts where you can use it as a medium to better yourself or just get your foot into other forms of animation. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't really delved into it, do you think it's something worth delving into later down the road for yourself, or do you think like
there's different ways you can take it? So in my case, I think it's a good beginner's step into animation. If you're like really new, you have zero clue how it works, and it's a lot more accessible than say 3D animation, for example. Blender's free and all that, but
sorry, I meant more like in the aspect.
Like,
go ahead.
Yeah, the learning curve for 3D is just a little crazier than 2D, in my opinion. So yeah. So it's not as easily newbie accessible, in my opinion, than like sprite animation, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was actually more in the aspect of like, because from what it sounds like I'm assuming like Jamek and Alex don't experiment too much with like creating their own sprites. So what I was more asking is like, do you think that's like a skill worth looking into?
Yes.
Down the road?
If you can expand yourself beyond just animation, it gives you more options to work around with, in my opinion. Yeah.
So I guess then to Alex and Jamek, do you have any plans to like maybe expand your toolkit to maybe explore like trying to create your own sprites, or maybe like just creating like new sprites for like certain characters you want to as you animate? Do you think that's something that's worth like digging into, or what do you guys think?
As we animate,
or just using the skill in general.
Okay. Yeah, I do feel like it's important, like knowing how to sprite is important. It's important to know at least, because you won't always have sprites that you can work with. Some sheets might be missing something. I wouldn't really say making like a full-on sprite sheet for one animation.
Right.
Yeah. But, learning how to like modify a sheet or, just add your own touches to it really helps.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's something I would do, honestly, or something I would learn. What about you, Jamet?
Yeah, same. I don't think I'm down to be doing a sprite sheet because it's gonna cause me like a massive burnout, and at the same time it's like, oh dang, I don't know if I could go any basic burnout, and it takes up just as much skill, if not, actually, now you think about it, would y'all say like spriting is like harder than hand drawing?
I don't know, chat, don't mind. But I'm gonna get up and go out shopping for now, so I'll be about 5 minutes. I'm gonna move to 5.
Alright.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Sounds good.
Okay. Is hand drawn harder than sprite animation?
No, I think what he says is drawing harder than spriting.
Yeah,
sorry. So when you say drawing, do you mean like drawing specifically like for drawn animation or in general?
Just like in animation, because like for example, like Alex brought up a good point that I thought, like there'll be some points where like, oh, like for Gray doesn't have a left jab, and with that said, that leads up to like us or like the spriter to just sprite it. But if in comparing the effort to like spriting and just hand drawing is kind of like, which is thinking like, which is harder, which is easier, because like it's already prepared for us, but like now we just, you know, it's hard to explain.
I think I understand. I think I understand what you're coming through or what you're trying to say. What do you or do you have any thoughts, Alex? First,
On that, so hand drawn, I will say it really just depends on what you're making, which one could be harder. Because some sprites, you know, working with smaller sprites, it's a lot easier and a lot faster than like drawing everything out, you know. And like with hand drawn animation, you still need like a basic understanding of like anatomy, you know, form, all of that, and like learning how to sprite is a lot easier than doing that. Because you know you don't have to be as exact. I don't know if that's the right word for it, as like a drawing, since you know pixels. People, you can interpret what something is supposed to look like with pixel art in a way. You get what I'm saying, right? It's just
I can definitely understand where you're coming from for sure.
Yeah.
Like definitely like when it comes to like pixel, you can't show all the details. You have to like make some like sacrifice, or you have to make some like shortcuts or leeways to sort of
simplify it. That's
yeah.
the word,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's usually like more full body, but with like more effort. Oh, not more effort, but like more detailing. Yeah, since it's like pixelated. What did you say?
Yeah.
I feel that.
I'd say more than anything, like, I guess I would say general drawing is harder, but I think for a sprite animator, like, I think one thing to keep in mind is I think like making sprites for sprite animation, I think is more demoralizing than hard, because you're so used to working with good sprites, and as a result, it's very easy to catch yourself just comparing your own custom sprite work compared to the existing sprites that you're working with. So it can be very discouraging as well.
I didn't even think about that. That's really true.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, for myself personally, like, because I kind of dabble, because now that I'm like dabbling more like pixel as well, like I think honestly, like, you just kind of have to go at it, and eventually you'll, just as long as you keep studying, asking for some like feedback, and just trying to like, and yeah, then I think like it won't take too long until you kind of get the hang of it, because at the very least, like, if you're at a point where you're predisposed to so many good sprites, then you can probably like, you have a lot of resources to study and figure out how to make a good pixel art.
Yeah.
At some point, to answer your previous question, I know Josh has been here and there doing his own effects. I was thinking of doing some effects. I don't know about characters.
Doing some effects, like making the hit sparks and all that.
Yeah, because I saw, if I recall, he did a sprite version of like a fire effect, just like a flame effect.
Right.
I thought that was pretty cool, and along with that, I just thought at some point I do want to get into effects anyway. Probably like what 𝐂𝐑𝐄𝐃 do, but that man is crazy with effects, so
Yeah. No
I
idea.
recall, I think because remember, I don't know if this is different now, but I think when he first was like start screwing around with it, I believe he said that they were edited. I could be wrong. I think I'm certain maybe later like he potentially probably draws them himself, but I remember asking him, and I think he said that they were that there were many edited sprites. Not, again, doesn't matter if it's edited or drawn, it still looks fantastic. It's all about the end product, but So I'm just more bringing that up because maybe it's not like too out of the well of a possibility for us to delve into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wouldn't even know where to begin with like something like that, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, like the fact that he managed to crack the code, that's actually insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does it like very, very, very quick. He does it on a daily, and it's new. It's not even just one thing. It's like every day it's something new, and he does it all on his own.
It's insane, honestly.
Oh man.
Man want to be a Fate Grand Order effects guy.
Yeah.
like some of the effects really do look like it's from Fate Grand Order. Like it's crazy, man. I can't even think of the time of he's using. I heard he was using Blender at some points, like with the background, but like the effects, yeah, I feel like it's just some of it's just hand drawn and straight up coloring. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's nuts though. Would you guys want to like well, I know, so you're doing your own sprite, but what about you, Alex?
Like making my own sprites.
Yeah, at some point.
I have made my own sprites. I haven't like made anything that could just be like animated. I remember making some Pokemon sprites.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
That was just on my mind, thinking about like, oh, when it comes to like making your own sprites, it always takes me back thinking of like Pokemon games, like Pokemon Heart Gold or Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Platinum. It always brings me those whenever I think of like OG sprites.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really know how like that would work in like animation. You rarely see Pokemon sprites animated, actually.
Yeah.
I find that's pretty.
What was that one
Like
guy that did funny Pokemon sprites? You guys remember him? What is his name? I'm gonna search him up.
He did
Funny.
funny Pokemon. Funny. No, he said funny. Funny Pokemon sprites. Like, he animated them or he made them?
No, he animated Pokemon sprites.
Is it Dorkly you're talking about?
The person?
It might
Yeah.
be Dorkly.
No, it's called
Is it like a parody show or something?
yeah, like I remember this. It's kind of like Level Up. Hold on, I'm going to his channel right now. Gumbio.
Gambino.
Yeah,
Gambino?
that guy. Yeah,
Mhm.
he did some really funny parodies with sprites. Like one was with Knuckles, where Knuckles is doing his terrible job, and Knuckles just like swearing and all that. It's hilarious. And then he did a series where it's like what really happens in Pokemon and all that.
I think I remember those. It's been a while though.
But he
It's very
didn't
interesting to
create it,
see like
though.
how. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, but he didn't create it though. But the fact that something so little but very detailed as those with sprites is pretty dang cool.
Yeah.
I think like for the majority of the time, like they usually have to do like some rigging to sort of go like
Oh,
past
yeah.
like the limits of.
Yeah, there's a lot of rigging if you're committed to
Yeah.
do those.
Yeah.
I'd say like Madara versus Aizen for Death Battle. I'd say everything in there was literally rigging.
Mhm.
Oh really?
Yeah, everything. That includes Tanjiro versus Jonathan.
And those were like custom sprites, right? Those weren't like
Yeah, all of them were custom sprites.
those weren't like Mugen or anything. Alright. Wow.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, Tanjiro versus Jonathan, I saw the one that you posted on your Twitter, Alex.
On Twitter, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I was so
that
down
was
for that
cool,
fight,
yeah.
but I heard, your FLA crash, and it was like, ah, shoot.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
so
yeah.
sad. It's irritating.
It
How many
really
seconds
is.
in were you?
I was like 40. I think we were like 40 in, right? 40 seconds in.
Yeah.
Oh no! And it
Yeah.
and it crashed. Wait, did it crash or corrupt?
It corrupted. The file wouldn't open right.
Oh no,
But
that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
so, but hey, I got a new PC, so never.
Not
That's
gonna
never
happen
happening
again.
Yeah.
Just maybe get like 10 hard drives, save like one instance of each file.
Yeah. Every 20 minutes.
Every 20 minutes. Autosave and make another backup FOA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Golly.
What would you say about using different software for spray animation? Like, I know some people like use Blender to like. I do this myself. I don't know. I can't remember. To like modify the sprites or like make 3D background or something like that. And my Maple rig is made with like a 3D model. So basically, yeah.
It's the thing. It's the thing that that JC fan posted. I don't know if you've seen it yourself, but
Yeah. So basically, I can like make any pose, without like really having to know how to like sprite it. It's really helpful.
Because I'm assuming it's not like perfect with like the posing. So like how much work is it to like fix it up? Like is it like pretty tedious or is it like pretty easy to do?
It's pretty easy to do. It's almost there. It's really accurate.
Okay.
I'd say like the one thing, it doesn't have the head, but the clothes are perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm wearing a t-shirt and like pants anyway, so it's not like anything crazy to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still really good.
I think like for using other programs. So are we saying like other programs to use for sprite animating specifically, or just helping sprite animation?
For sprite animation.
This is actually something I do want to like venture down the road, because I think like what's important first to determine whether a program could be a flash or animate equivalent is to sort of break down what are the different tools we use on a regular basis, and to see from there if like the program in question has that. Like for example, like does a program have a distort tool? Does it have the ability to put sprites on a vector-based view? But it's not to say like any other spriting program can't work. Like I know there's one animator called the Ultra Nerd, where basically they create a sprite where I think their animation is basically pixel perfect because they use a certain program. But it still looks pretty solid. Yeah.
Unity or something, maybe?
No, I don't remember what it was called. I know in one of their animations they mentioned what it was, but I don't know what it was. But all I know is it was like stuck more like a pixel based than vector based, like than like compared to like what we normally use.
Okay.
I guess like ultimately like you can use any tool, but I guess to exclusively find a flash killer that has like everything that then I think that's something that we're gonna have to like look into, which I don't think that's explored that much. Well, because Flash itself is pretty dang solid anyway, so
yeah. Like I wouldn't necessarily talk about something like that would like we'd all move from Flash or anything. Just something to like help it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cause like I use it in tandem, like not
right. Well, then I guess like Blender definitely would help, and for some people maybe After Effects for like just trying to get like some extra like effect work, but besides I'm not sure what else would be out there, I guess, besides like a sprite as well for like creating the sprites.
Yeah. I don't know, I can't think of anything either.
Is it a sprite off of Steam?
You can get it from they have their own website, but yeah, you can.
Oh, you mean like Sprite took it off Steam recently?
No, I said you can get it from their website, but they also have it on. Like Sprite has its own website where you can like.
I guess with that being said, you can create sprites in Photoshop, but it's very finicky, you know.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting I'm streaming, so it reduces like whoever joins the call. And I heard AK out of nowhere just talk. No.
I wanted to comment on what Soul said. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Welcome back. Every time I open up Steam, I always see Scarf Kanye just on Sprite. I'm like, oh, bro, it's on Sprite.
I have a friend who never closes Sprite.
It's on Steam.
I have a friend who never closes Sprite, and he has like 20,000 hours in the program. It's like, what the hell?
They're on that grind.
Yeah, it's like, damn.
They literally just leave it open for like days on end. Yeah.
Alright, they're trying to hit the world record or something.
Exactly.
20,000 hours minus.
Yeah. Get this world record for Sprite.
And that was the only thing I knew about Sprite, is that it was off of Steam. I didn't know that there would be another way, like how we got Flash was off of a YouTube tutorial. It's just once I saw
legally.
Once I saw Kanye use Sprite on like Steam, and I heard everyone else was using Sprite, because I wasn't in the community in that time. I kind of took a break. I was like, damn, everybody can afford this kind of program, huh? I was like, that's crazy.
Definitely, they definitely all bought it. And
so yo,
gave them money.
Everybody got ice on their wrist, man.
I will say honestly, like I think like from using Sprite a bit myself, or I think you can make sprites with any program honestly. So it's not like Sprite like exclusive. I think the only thing about Sprite that's just very convenient is just how it's easy just to set up like GIFs. But I think once there is a program out there where you can like figure out how to like set up like animate GIFs, like I know Photoshop can do it, but it's incredibly finicky with that, then I think Sprite like is just more intuitive, but I wouldn't say it's necessary for sure.
Yeah.